Think about the last time you walked through a forest. You felt the stillness, you heard the crunch of leaves. You saw giants standing in majestic, lonely silence. But you were being watched. And more importantly, you were being talked about. Right now, beneath your boots, a massive biological processor is crunching data at a scale that rivals the internet. There is a roar of conversation happening in a frequency you can hear and a language you've never been taught. Deep in the damp dark of the soil, an ancient intelligence is making decisions. It's deciding who lives, who dies, and who gets fed. You aren't walking through a collection of trees. You are walking over a single, massive, sentient organism. Welcome to Animal Lover Planet. Today, we are tapping into the Earth's secret frequency. We are uncovering why trees talk. For centuries, we saw the forest as a battlefield. In the eyes of early scientists, every tree was a solitary soldier, locked in a brutal, slow-motion war for sunlight and space survival of the fittest. If a seedling died in the shade of a giant, it was simply evolution taking its course. But we were wrong. We were looking at the players, but we missed the stage. If you could wear X-ray glasses and look into the dirt, you wouldn't just see roots. You would see a sprawling, white, gossamer web. Finer than a human hair stretching for miles, threading through every inch of the forest floor. This is the mycorrhizal network. The Wood Wide Web, it's a partnership born in the shadows. On one side, you have the tree's masters of the sun, turning light into sugar. On the other, you have fungi masters of the dark. These fungi cannot photosynthesize, but they are world-class miners. They can squeeze into microscopic crevices in the soil to find phosphorus and nitrogen that tree roots could never reach. So they struck a deal. The fungus plugs into the tree's roots, literally stitching itself into the tree's biology. The tree sends down excess sugar, the payment, and the fungus sends up the raw materials the tree needs to grow. But here is the shocker. The fungus doesn't just connect to one tree, it connects to every tree. It is a biological fiber optic cable connecting the entire forest into a single, massive, communal brain. And once the cables were laid, the trees started to speak. Imagine a tiny fir seedling struggling on the forest floor. It's trapped in the deep shade of the canopy. It can't get enough sunlight to feed itself. By all the laws of nature, it should wither and die. But it doesn't. Through the fungal network, a signal goes out, a cry for help. And 100 feet above, a massive, centuries-old mother tree receives the message. She recognizes the seedling, not just as a member of her species, but as her own offspring. In a display of profound intelligence, the mother tree begins to pump her own lifeblood excess sugar and nutrients down into the roots, through the fungal network, and directly into the veins of the struggling baby. She is literally nursing her young through the soil. At Animal Lover Planet, we often look for family bonds in lions or elephants. But here, in the stillness of the woods, we see a mother feeding her child through a hidden umbilical cord made of mushrooms. But what happens when the conversation turns from a lullaby to a scream? Trees cannot run. When an army of bark beetles or hungry aphids descends upon a branch, the tree is a sitting duck. Or is it? The moment a leaf is torn by an insect's mandibles, the tree's nervous system enters a state of high alert. It doesn't just sit there. It begins to produce volatile organic compounds, invisible chemical mists that waft through the air. It's the tree's version of a smoke signal. Nearby trees smell this distress call. Within minutes, they begin to change their own internal chemistry. They start pumping bitter tannins and toxins into their leaves, making themselves unpalatable or even poisonous before the insects even arrive. They are fortifying the castle walls because they heard their neighbors screaming. But the communication goes even deeper. Some trees, like the wild tobacco plant or certain types of corn, can call for help from other species. They release a very specific scent that acts as a homing beacon for predatory wasps. The message is clear. The insects eating me are your favorite food. Come and get them. The tree isn't just talking to other trees, it's hiring mercenaries. However, every great network has its hackers. In this bustling metropolis, there is intrigue and theft. Not every conversation is friendly. Take the black walnut tree. It's a master of cyber warfare. It uses the fungal network to spread toxic chemicals that inhibit the growth of other species, effectively poisoning the ground to ensure its rivals stay small. It's trying to clear the board. Then, there are the phantom plants, like the ghost pipe. This eerie, translucent white flower has no chlorophyll. It cannot make its own food. It survives by hacking into the wood wide web, mimicking the signals of a tree, and trashing the network to steal nutrients from the fungal system without giving anything back. It is a biological parasite, living off the labor of the giants. This reveals a profound truth. The forest is not a utopia. It's a complex, high-stakes society. There is altruism, yes, but there is also greed, deception, and war. It's a mirror of our own world, happening in slow motion, tucked away beneath a layer of moss. Perhaps the most haunting discovery in the secret language of trees is the concept of memory. When a massive, ancient tree is nearing the end of its life, perhaps due to drought or a lightning strike, it doesn't just fade away. In its final months, scientists have observed these dying giants performing a data dump. They begin to dump their entire store of carbon and nutrients into the network, passing it to the younger generation. But it's more than just food. Some researchers believe they are passing on information. They are sending signals that prime the younger trees for the specific stresses they faced, memories of the great drought of 80 years ago, or the frost of a century past. The old ones are teaching the young how to survive the future. When we clear-cut an old-growth forest, we aren't just removing wood. We are deleting a library. We are destroying an ancient database of survival that has been curated for thousands of years. We are only just beginning to realize that our own actions are deafening the forest. When we use heavy machinery that compacts the soil, we crush the fungal cables. When we spray massive amounts of fungicides or fertilizers, we sever the connection between the tree and its fungal partner. A tree in a managed industrial plantation is often a lonely tree. It has no network. No mother tree, no warning signals. It is silent, isolated, and vulnerable. Without the ability to talk, the forest loses its collective intelligence. It becomes brittle. It becomes a collection of individuals rather than a resilient community. But there is hope. By changing how we view forests, seeing them as social networks rather than timber factories, we can begin to heal these connections. We can protect the hub trees that act as the routers for this biological internet. The next time you stand among the pines or the oaks, take a deep breath. Listen to the wind in the leaves, but remember the conversation you can't hear. The pulse of sugar through the dirt. The chemical warnings floating on the breeze. The ancient wisdom being whispered from root to root. The forest is talking. It's time we started listening. If this journey into the secret world of the woods changed the way you look at the planet, hit that subscribe button and join us at Animal Lover Planet. We're on a mission to uncover the magic of the natural world, one secret at a time. Leave a comment below. Do you think trees are conscious in their own way? Let's keep the conversation growing. Until next time, keep your eyes open and your heart connected to the wild.